so I can. All right. So now I get to introduce the feature. All right. Kim Shuck, an amazing, deep, caring, concerned, considerate, capable wordsmith, writer, poet, philosopher, political activist. Don't get on her bad side. I first met her here when she and others came to do a poetry thing. And I said, wow, what a great voice that is. And I arranged to have her feature, and it was a spectacular event. And then a couple years later, she and I collaborated to do a series of readings honoring First Nations peoples here, and that was really wonderful. It was a series of features, and we had about 8 or 10 different people over the course. So, a beautiful writer, a soulful citizen, a citizen of the soul, someone who transcends the natural limits, goes beyond what's beyond, comes back and laughs at your face to tell you, see, I told you so. A wonderful person, a good writer, and I am going to cease my preparatory remarks here and honor her as she comes forward here, and I arrange the microphone. Give her a nice big round, please. Kim Shuck, ladies and gentlemen! Woo! We just organize this. I'll make sure just want to make sure you're perfect. I mean, you know, the microphone's perfect.
Yeah. It's always easy for me to follow Dan because usually the mic's up here. Sort of fun. I'm still working with this tablet thing, so I may accidentally play you a commercial. I apologize for that.
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't I mention she was the poet laureate? Did I mention that? Okay. I'm sorry about that.
A little bit.
The seventh.
It's okay. I'm surely something else here, right?
Yes, well.
Thieves. We who steal ourselves back from the songs, laws, habits that claim us and everything about us. The long men, the wide-hipped and generous bays, protective as any mother. We who can still hear Lovejoy's press, can hear it from under the water, the supervisory singing wolves. We who sing to other songs, who steal ourselves back, the kidnapped, hostage, unransomed, unransomable. We learn songs to pick locks, to absorb your laws and habits. We are coming for ourselves. We're on our way. Well, so that was in Cherokee, that word we just exchanged there, which is my father's language. My mother was born and raised in San Francisco and went to Poly High. A couple people nodded. It's always interesting to see who knows, who doesn't know. Arroyo Dolores. Ghost Arroyo, filled in but digging, redigging. The sad creek never ran all year. And now it's so frail, we feed her water mouthful by mouthful. We feed her, our ravenous sister, under the full moon, November moon that also fills the ghost wash. Ghost water, clawing back, glowing back, and guarded by bay laurel roots that have found her. And we feed her mouth and mouth of water, of light, of root. You are most kind. This is the 9th day in a row that I'm performing, so I'm kind of doing that thing where you open the back of the controller for the TV and roll the batteries to see if you
Maybe that'll fix it.
Contemporary superstition.
I know. I do the same.
Clinging to the branch ends. From here, the East Bay windows give back, lean back at this time of day. These exactly warm days, these mixed identity days made of summer and harvest both, and the few perfectly snug apples still waiting on the tree, waiting to be something baked like they are in the afternoons, like this one. Picked hot, slipped into the stove, rinsed quick, a little warm water, warm as nighttime, warm as dried berry and cinnamon and ginger, quiet apples that remember their wide loving flowers, the swell of July and spiral songs of steam and spice. So last month and the month before, I wrote for 55 days poems about that wretched statue in between the main library and the Asian Art Museum.
Early days.
Yeah. I might read some of them, but I just, you can, if you read them in order, you can see me getting angrier and angrier. So I wanted to start off with a few that weren't cranky, just to see what that felt like for a change. This is called Medicine Show. You are not a trickster, God. It's not something you find like cash someone left in the Goodwill coat or a pebble on the beach. Well, okay, maybe you can find it as a pebble on the beach, but not by asking. And there are other things that evaporate if claimed too, and you and your generation claimed everything, like some kind of skulk of adolescent foxes, rubbing scent, greed, and territory, and your survival doesn't make you right. Even your tasteful robe of patchwork culture, which might well sell for big bucks at Christie's, your sampler plate religion will set a trend. Your understanding has yet to touch anything as deep as breath under the surface. We may have transitioned into cranky. And in the interest of that, I'm trying another new thing, which is reading without my glasses. Sometimes it has some interesting effects. So I'm going to start at the ninth early day here. The ninth early day. Some customs have been abandoned, wallpaper soaked in arsenic, gaslighting, chattel slavery. Some customs are reevaluated, tested to see if they're safe, to see if we still believe in them. Some historical lies have long half-life. Europe came to wage commerce by whatever means. Fortune, a handful of flesh at a time, a story at a time. Who gets to tell the story? The 10th early day. 200 plus years ago, someone fired a shot. It passed through 6 generations and missed me cold, buried itself in the kitchen door frame of a house rebuilt in the 50s. The ballistics aren't in yet, but I have my suspicions. There is a commemorative statue celebrating the anonymous murderer. The 11th early day. The opposite of celebrating genocide isn't also celebrating its victims. It isn't better explaining the circumstances of the genocide. It's not justifying the genocide. It isn't rewriting, comparing, shifting blame for the genocide. The opposite of celebrating genocide is not celebrating genocide. The 12th early day. With the authority of a Borgia pope, a pope bribed with Spanish money, Spain sent soldiers with monks to a place with many names that they called California. These colonists carried crosses, weapons, a papal bull that authorized the conversion of the children of nature or their slaughter. Soldiers and battlefield birds in brown robes created and then picked over the corpses. Wrote down every detail in their careful records in pristine and educated handwriting. The 13th, early day. You can kind of see why this started getting to me after a while. It worked though. We got a rehearing for that, so occasionally the city government works. Someday in the Museum of Outdated Statues that represent racialized violence, Juniper Serra, King Leopold, Joseph Mengele, Andrew Jackson, and the greedy and delusional of all ages will gather around Trajan's column with hundreds of anonymous Franciscan monks. Soldiers from all corners of the planet, they will be surrounded by a maze of statues of Columbus. Let's call it their retirement home, and no one will read the signage there either. The 14th early day. Gonna read them till I start laughing. To images of racial violence desensitize people to racial violence. We're taught that the best thing we ever did for this country, the one that absorbed us, was to die. And we do. We die of the police, of sexualized violence, we die of curable diseases, we die of cold, we die of bad health care, we die in the military. We serve this country over and over.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, I actually write a lot about flowers. But it's been a rough month. The 15th, early day. A statue is part of the conversation. A moment in the discussion. Is conquest the point you want to freeze in memory? Leopold's statue head down in the garbage dump. Conquest recorded in bronze between the main library, the Asian Art Museum. Our songs are birds singing. Our songs that navigate, that heal. Our mouths stuffed with bronze and marble.
Nice.
The 17th early day. Two young men on a college tour in Colorado made somebody's mom uncomfortable because they were quiet and indigenous. The police were called. They didn't look like they belonged. When will you people get over it? Get over the history the city continues to commemorate. Get over the present where our children are in danger for taking a college tour. Get over being told that we are better off for the invasion. Get over our vanished and murdered sisters. Maybe we'll get over it when it stops.
Yeah.
Oh.
Enough of those for now, I think. I'm going to pick something somewhat random. And then I'm going to read my newest poem. And then I'm going to sit down and listen to other people read. Please tell my family I'm alive. It's hard to know where we are with everything broken and scattered. War and weather will do that, and there's weather to come. We need to decide what we all understand and what's local. Survived like a single teacup. It's always strange what's spared and what's taken. The chair has come apart. The roof pieces are mixed in with spilled sugar, but that horrible quilt of your mother's is okay. Storm and sound has marked me, and I'll never stop hearing it. Shocking now, the idea. Safe as houses, and we did feel safe. We pulled our walls around us, and we thought we knew.
Wow.
If this were an essay, it would have what we call a funnel opening, so stick with it. Parent and child cycle. 1. When the first pain hit, I went up on my toes. Birth dances you. And all the people that breathe at you, speaking for myself, were exactly no help. My son and I, we did that dance together, became two people. It's another kind of storytelling. 2. We took the stereotypes in our hands and tore them up. What worlds we have created between us, parent and child, person and person. You curled there and whispered stories of healing into my fever dreams. We have adventured. 3. Cleaning Grandpa's desk, we found the Mary of Czestochowa, her black skin rendered in silver metal. Isis, by any other name, still brought her lover back from the dead and claimed a son from him. Isis, of sky and wisdom wrapped in blue as I have been, just feeling the heartbeat, the damp skin, the wonder of a new person. 4. We carefully mark the places where the world changes, pack our borders, our toothbrushes, our walking shoes, rewritten in every watershed, every story shed, the children of corn walking north. The sons of corn performed the magic as they were taught, and the people were fed. We are dusted with pollen. We are walking north. 5. The child showed me the mark of the scorpion on his leg, and I showed him the mark of a spider on mine. We have walked dangerous miles, he and I. Separate parts of the same story. The gods took a handful of corn flour, blood, and we are born. Danced, went up on our toes. You may have been born differently, but this is our story. 6. Children in cages. Disprayer. And genetic memory offers a panic. Stolen children. The sacred geometry is shattered. We carry our borders, we who are blood and corn. We reach across rivers, we call to our cousins, we burn the copal. 7. This part of the poem isn't written yet. We are all going to have to write it together. Thank you.
Here's that, ladies and gentlemen. Now that's a reading. All right, we're going to take a brief break. When we come back, though, we have Shem as the person who kicks us off and closes us out. Brett, Bob, Tommy, Ed, Rob, Hal, D. Allen, Joe Taller? I don't know how to say that. And then we have Gary, and then Garrett, and then Shem closing up. We've also got Eddie if he's still staying. So, talk to her, see if she has a book that she likes to sell, and then we'll be back in a few minutes.